There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Now you're on.
There you go.
We're on the pig's backs, you see.
Yes.
Right. No, I missed the last one, so Willie Joe, maybe you can fill us in.
Well, Tig, on the last one we talked about John's retirement years here in Chicago and about his wife and his 3 children. And we had a good meeting with his granddaughter and Teresa. And we're going to finish up tonight now. And I am pleased to say that listening to John's life has been a pleasure. Even though I'd known about it before, I'm so glad that we got together and put this in a piece of history that's recorded for life. And
Even if he's from Limerick?
even
Are we
if he
still
is from
okay with that?
well, he was only 3 miles away from the Kerry border, so we'll forgive him for
We'll
that.
have to suffer out with that one, you see.
But anyhow, John's accomplishments both in Ireland, with the cause which he believed in, and his endeavours to get the country united, and his many friends he met in college in the Curragh, and all the graduates he had with.
Yeah.
And that's the book I referenced many, many times. It says it in the book. And as the great Dan Ballyheating said about this man, John Hunt, he said, a man of sterling character. What more do you want? But it's said like that.
Is that Keaton's place there now?
But I've said enough now.
That's Finland.
I let it over to you, Tig, and say a few words, and we'll go on with John and let John tell us.
Does this go back in here, or what's that for?
I don't know.
I'll find Keating's piece.
Right, oh, it's all right, leave that back in here where it wasn't here. No, well, I missed the last one, which is, I have to admit that these have been the highlight of the weeks for me, listening to the stories. There's fellas in work, I work with an awful lot, and I'm working more Rhoda glasses. We only want pair of glasses between us, we'll have to sort that out the next one, I suppose.
That's good.
But they're from India and they're from China and stuff like that. And I'd be telling them the stories from things. And I swear, even they're from different countries, whatever, their jaws drop. You know what I mean? They're just at how much you've got through in a lifetime. Now, I know it's been a long one, a long life, but you know, just the things that you did. So it's been an absolute pleasure for me, and I'm looking forward to this again, and I'm looking forward maybe we at some stage we can maybe make an update again to it.
Yes.
There shouldn't be any problem with that, I hope.
No. You see, like I said the first time that you introduced this to me here, I said I'd go along with it. And you and I had a laugh over dogs and things like that. You know what I mean? That's how it started. And I'll be quite honest with you. And nobody, my family or nobody knew my real story until I told it here.
Good.
I was looking at the tape, the last tape, not the one prior to that, and I could see the first time that my granddaughter was here, every time I'd speak, she was looking in amazement, and I was figuring out, psychology is a study of the mind, and I was trying to figure her out the same as she was trying to figure me out. What is he going to say next? You understand me?
Right.
Will he embarrass the whole group here?
Right.
But anyway,
I think embarrassment is never valid.
anyway, the last time that we met here, you weren't here, Tig, and that was a pity because I believe that was one of the best ones that was there, but you'll have to see it.
Do you want me to leave again or something?
No, because you're a great encouragement to me, because being a Cork man and everything like that, that's energy, that's an energizer, like that little battery, that's an energizer. But here, where we finished off the last time, we have to proceed now so that we can finish this tonight. We talked about, the last night, we talked about my trip in Alaska.
Right.
You understand me? And there was a lot of things that you have lots of time when you're in Alaska, and I wrote a lot of poetry. I did write a lot of poetry.
All right.
I have some of it here.
Okay.
So I'm going to read some of it about Alaska. I wrote, we had girls up there, we had fellas and girls up there take the bag, that's the bag. they used to always say, Hunt and his bag of tricks. But anyway, Alaska was very close to me. I learned a lot in Alaska, and I wrote some very good, I thought, I tried to describe what was happening. As we know, poetry is, that's what poetry is all about. You have a license in the English language that allows you to go away from the regular grammar when you're writing poetry. But this is what I said about the Alaska Pipeline. Some write and tell their wives and sweethearts how they made a pipeline to the sky. Some dream of days of glory and the slick legs that go by. Some sell TVs and tape recorders and take a chance in this and that. Some deal in dope and women from here to Yakitak. Some come up here to the Northlands from the south, the east and west. More come here from overseas and try to do their best. We have linemen and fitters and a bunch of welders too, and a lot of rough and tumble guys just like me and you. Some tell us we are crazy for the foolish things we try, but night and day we're just thinking of that pipeline to the sky. But of course we have the wise guys who tell us right from wrong, and also that bunch of yes men who never can do wrong. We have Jack and Joe, and there is Harry from Pakistan. We have Stanley the Greek and Sally who says she can do the can-can. Of course we have the bull cooks who shake our beds each day, and some who come to tuck us in before we hit the hay. We have Nancy from Cordova and Glenn from Washington State. We have Lucy from Chicago Heights, and there is Lindy from the Golden Gate. We have Nora from the East Side and Kathleen from Galway Bay. But oh, what a bunch of slick legs. They could take your breath away. And then we have the backup crews who help us all they can, for this pipeline will take the heart and soul of every working man. From the north slopes of Prudhoe Bay to the distant Valdez shores, we stroke and pull with all our might to make sure the Isle will flow. And when our task is over and the energy has arrived, our country will be stronger, and yes, you know we did survive. But Alaska, how I dread you, with your cold and ruthless ways, with your liquid gold that haunts me that you keep in those hidden caves. For very soon I will have to leave you and bid you a fond farewell. And then my dreams will be of you, Alaska, sweet Alaska.
Very well done,
Very good. Very,
Very
very good. When did you write that?
I wrote this is the Alaska Pipeline, was a very rugged, it was supposed to be one of the best engineering jobs in the world, and as you know, Alaska is a very remote state, very cold, and lots of people went up here. The United States said it was the last gold rush in the world. Anyway, what I wrote was about the different people I met along the line.
And John Hunt. John was not a teenager now when he went up on this Alaska pipeline.
Yeah.
He was in his 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
I was 56.
56 years old.
Yes.
When you went up there?
Yes.
You talk about,
Yes,
and you talk
yes.
about Shackleton
Yeah.
going to the South Pole and the whole lot. John Hunt went to Alaska at 56,
Yes.
and he succeeded.
Yes, I wrote that up there, and I remember the union guys came up from Chicago and places like that. They were the heads of the union, so you know. And I wrote various things about Alaska, but that to me was I told the whole story.
Yeah.
You understand? As I said, I wrote a lot of poetry. And when you're in solitude or in your mind is in that state, you have a tendency to dream. To dream. That's the proper word there now. You dream a lot. Here is another one that I wrote when I was up there. Upon this that man is placed, and he is part of the human race. He was given the will to understand the power of God and his fellow man. The eternal lights will shine on him if he can avoid a life of sin. But if the other way he decides to choose, then I know he's bound to lose. The worldly pleasures he can share, but to go too far he must not dare. This is how it all began, when God made light and then made man. That was published in a lot of them.
Wow.
But we, every one of us, we have our own ways of doing things. The Alaska Pipeline was the last job that was the last time I ever worked, was the Alaska Pipeline. I left there in 1982. I went up there in 1947, I think that was British, at 48 or something. Yes, and I left in 82. I was up there 6 or 7 years. 6 or 7 years.
77 was it? Not 47.
Not 47. 77. No, I went up there in 74.
74.
74. Yes, I can get carried away when it comes to figures and numbers because I'm after filing my property taxes today, and that's where the figures got
Misconstrued.
Yes. But here, so when I left that, the Alaska Pipeline, I came home and retired. I retired. The union were very good to me. I was not 65 then. I was about. I had a year or two to go, and the union said, "You keep going, and we'll bring your pension up to the full time." So they were very good to me.
Good.
So, what did I do? I skipped a part of the things because I said that don't tell lies when I'm telling anything like this. My first home that I bought was in Marshfield, Marshfield, and my kids went to St. Basil's school down there. I left St. Basil's and I bought a house at 3759 West 66 Place. That's in Market Road, off of Market Road there, anybody that's acquainted with that. And that changed my kids to go to St. Nicholas at Valentine School. But while they were at, I was 27 years there. I'll finish it about the houses now. I was 27 years there, and then I bought a place out here in Norland Park, about 3 or 4 acres. That's about 3 acres there, I say. About 3 acres. I'm living a life of quietness. It's all fenced in. There's nobody around me. And Willie Casey was out there. He saw my place. But it's just a little heaven to me because nobody is near me and I can walk around my own. Now,
let me interject here for a minute. The Navy SEALs had an easier time finding Bin Laden than most people will do in finding John's house.
Yes.
Just hidden away, so is it?
You can't find it. You cannot find it. They turn on this thing they have in the car.
Google.
GPS.
I can't find it. No, I can't find it.
Serious?
And the mailman comes in and delivers my mail. My address, I'm not going to give it now. But anyway,
look for it.
But anyway, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
How long have you been there?
I'm there since 1997. 97.
Mm-hmm.
That was the year my daughter died.
17 years.
Wow.
I'm talking about the kids now. So we had 3 children. 2 boys and a girl. The eldest was the girl. I'll deal with her first. It's very difficult for me to tell this story because she was the light of our age. She was catty Cathy was very good. She died when she was 43 years of age. She was, Cathy was, I believe that Cathy would be about the smartest one of the three children. But she wouldn't go to college. She wouldn't go to college for us. She graduated from Lourdes High School. And she was very, very smart. She got a job immediately with an insurance company. And she worked with the insurance company for quite a while. And that time, there was a lot of trouble about equality for getting into various jobs. And there was a lot of applicants for the police department at that time. And there was very few girls. There was hardly any girls, any women in the police department at that time. So she took the test and passed the test. But then she got cold feet and she kind of wouldn't want it. And I remember a policeman come to the house one day and he said, "Why don't you talk to your daughter? She's Irish. She's after passing the test to go down and do the physical anyway." So she went down and she did everything that was required for her to do. And after she passed it out, as they call it down there, the first place that she was put into was the tactical unit, the roughest unit she was put in right into the tactical unit. I meet her boss nearly every day. He's at the Helton. Schiller, she's a lieutenant. He says she was the toughest police officer he said I ever met. He said she was really something. She was in the tactical unit. She got all kinds of awards and everything. And I remember her telling me one time that a fella did his dissertation for his master's degree, and she was in the tactical unit in the 21st district, and was a rough district that time. And somebody stole his work that he was going for his master's degree, and he was very upset. He went to the police station about it, and he was very upset. And whatever way Cathy, she knew all these gang crowd, and they used to call her Blondie. Cathy told me they used to call her Blondie, but she found his
dissertation.
She found his dissertation and got it back to him, and he was able to do his master's degree at the University of Chicago. But she used to go to dog shows with me and go everywhere with me. That last dog show was down in McCormick Place. She passed away. That was Cathy. She was the best. She broke her heart. The next one that come up was...
Tell me 1 second now. His daughter would be Bridget's mother. That's what he's talking about.
That's Bridget's.
That's Bridget's mother. That's Bridget's mother.
She was married. She was married to Danny O'Brien. That's the O'Brien's that had the realty company, O'Brien's Realtors. She was married to Dan. Dan died too when he was 50 years of age. She was only 40. That left Bridget.
Right.
Bridget. And I remember Cathy coming to me, and she at the kitchen sink one day in my house when she was very, very bad. She died of lung cancer. I took out one lung, and one lung. Oh my God, she was something. I have to say that. As you know, I have never missed, for the last 30 years, that I didn't go to Ireland every year for a month or 2 months. And after she getting her lung out, I was going back to Ireland, and I said, Cathy, she says, Dad, I'll try and get, if they release me out of the hospital, she says, I'll go back to Ireland. I said, do it. So she called me up she said, they'll release me. And I was in Ireland. She said, the only way we can get out, she says, Mom and I, she says, we can go down to Atlanta and get a plane out, but it'll cost 3,000. I says, go and do it. You do it. So I remember going down to Shannon Airport for coming in the plane, off of the plane, and I expected her mother to be pushing her out, and here she is pushing her mom out.
Beautiful.
The ortho nurse. She pushed her mom out, and I says, God Almighty. I says, that's something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she came back again, went back to Ireland, and then after 8 or 9 months she got a job again back in the police department, sitting by the desk. She was quite happy. One night she came to me and she said, Dad, she said, the cancer is back. I says, how do you know? Were you at the doctor? She says, no, I wasn't at the doctor, but she says, it's back. I says, how do you know? She says, I'm getting the pain in the same place again. And the Lord to nursing her, the Lord to nursing her. I watched her die for 13 weeks at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's Hospital. And that was the saddest time I ever had in my life.